in the day, the halftime show was the event. Sometimes the players were interrupting the show to play their little game. And now, people are just kind of like, oh, okay. Michael Jackson revolutionized what a Super Bowl halftime show could be and still remains one of the most iconic to ever do it. I mean, he didn't even have the internet, and that's kind of what we're getting at today.
Oh, yes. Don't it feel good? Only wanna see you. Can I play this guitar?
Prince played Purple Rain in the rain. I mean, come on. The Bruno Mars, Beyonce, and Coldplay show was revolutionary. But notice how something kind of started shifting. Before it was one singular artist, and then in 2015, Katy Perry, Missy Elliott, and Lenny Kravitz. Why is Lenny Kravitz there? It doesn't really matter. In 2022, we had a mix of different rap artists: Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent. There's huge names, but notice it's a mix of rap history and nostalgia. This is when we started relying on multiple groups to carry the show. This year, with the Kendrick Lamar halftime show with SZA, I thought it was great for him and the storytelling elements, all the little Easter eggs and details, and I mean, come on.
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
Was epic to hear with a theater full of people at the Super Bowl, but I seem to be in the minority, at least in the realm of videos that I'm looking at on the internet. I don't see as many people sharing my support for this halftime show. It got me thinking, are people really famous anymore? Or has fame changed? Does it look a little different? That's what we're going to be exploring in today's video. Now, if you go back before the internet, you had to be on TV shows, tabloids, magazines, radio shows. You weren't just famous, you were undeniable. Everybody had to know who you were because your face was in front of them everywhere they looked. Nowadays, you can be massive in one pocket of the internet, but maybe most of the other users on the platform don't really know who you are. You can have 50 million TikTok followers and still be nowhere near the level of success that Kendrick Lamar or SZA even are. Super popular. I think half of the stadium was like, who are these people? Which you have a devoted audience, but you don't have one that's mainstream, one that appeals to the widest general audience. Something the internet has done to our culture is it's split us, it's fragmented us. I get stuff in my feed that sometimes overlaps with my friends. We can all send each other videos that we all think is funny, but we're all on our own algorithm. Social media algorithms are designed to find out what you like best, and not exactly to give you what's true or what's right, but will get the most engagement out of you. So not to say that Kendrick Lamar SZA are TikTok stars. I mean, obviously they're big names and they've had lots of significance over the mainstream. Even I would say that they're huge names, but maybe not huge enough to be a Super Bowl show. I thought it was great, and I thought if you looked at all the Easter eggs and all the storytelling that Kendrick put in this show, it was beautiful and it was unique and it was creative. But I had to watch a lot of videos on TikTok about breaking down what exactly all of his little Easter eggs meant and what the full story was, even with Samuel L. Jackson there. I mean, I don't think anybody can get back to the level of the Beatles because the culture is so fragmented. We're so split. That's why there's so much fighting nowadays. Kendrick Lamar is a Pulitzer Prize winning. He just won 5 Grammys for Not Like Us. I mean, it was one of the top songs of the year last year, but his music isn't exactly let's get this party started type stuff. His is more introspective and thematically layered. The fact that he was picked over Taylor Swift or like Drake, for instance, shows how much our culture has shifted nowadays. I mean, SZA is kind of a more niche R&B artist. She definitely has dominated the streaming numbers, but it's not exactly a household name yet. I think she's a great performer, and the songs that she sang in the halftime show were great, but maybe not someone who's prime Super Bowl material. Now, I get it. We're all sick of Beyonce, but we can't deny that she's been one of the biggest names in the pop culture industry for the past few decades. Whether that's because of some shady stuff behind the scenes with P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Listen, I don't like Beyonce either. The fact that she won Best Country Album, in my opinion, not exactly earned, maybe. I think Billie Eilish still should have won something. But the bottom line is, I think Kendrick Lamar and SZA's halftime show was great, but maybe a little too niche. Kendrick did what Kendrick do, and although I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan, I obviously know who he is and the impact he's had on pop culture over the past few years. His beef with Drake has been iconic, and the fact that he went and performed his song Not Like Us and dissed Drake,
I hate you like I'm young,
at the Super Bowl was just another level of petty that I aspire to be in my personal life. But I think most people just didn't get it. I don't know if it's most of the people in attendance were, looked like me per se, as in white. But Kendrick's fans are really devoted. They love him. I think he's very talented, and I thought his Super Bowl halftime show was great, but that's not the general public. The general public was a little confused and didn't really know what to make of this halftime show. That's why a lot of people said it was boring. They didn't understand the deeper meanings and the hidden Easter eggs, and I guess that's fine, but at least gives you a key to understanding why it seems that it's so divided on whether or not this halftime show was great. Because I've seen a lot of hate for it, people saying it was mid or boring, and I kind of didn't understand why until I started thinking about the impact of the internet on society and how it changes the way that people are getting famous nowadays. Again, not to say that Kendrick Lamar and SZA are TikTok stars, but that definitely does change how you find an audience in the modern world. Now, what does this mean for the future of Super Bowl halftime shows? Is it going to get more and more niche? Maybe we'll get more niche kind of artists stepping up, and maybe we'll get specific dedicated fans coming to these things. Because did it feel more like a Super Bowl halftime show, or did it feel like another Kendrick Lamar concert? I don't know. I don't know if it's too niche nowadays, or if we need to find a better way to get more popular artists at the Super Bowl, or if they need to change the way they do it somehow, which I guess is just how it goes. When you're performing in that amount of people, at least half of them are just going to hate you no matter what. So maybe that's just the effect of doing a big event like this, but it seems like the internet is kind of fragmenting the different avenues in which celebrities find an audience. But nevertheless, the days of one singular artist dominating our culture might just be over. Maybe the idea of a superstar, someone who's universally known by everyone around the world, might just be over. And it doesn't mean that the artists of today are any less important than the artists of the past. Kendrick Lamar SZA, very talented, very great artist. They both did a fantastic job performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. I thought it was very impressive, and I loved every second of it. I watched the whole thing. It was great. I was actually more interested in that than the actual game itself. But maybe instead of waiting for the next like Michael Jackson moment, or a moment where a singular superstar dominates the scene, we just appreciate more of what we get and stop trying to compare everything to the things of the past, because we're always going to be moving forward and always evolving, because that's what humans do. Kind of stepped outside my comfort zone here with just Marvel movies to talk about a big cultural moment, but let me know what you thought. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.